Hello everybody and welcome to Friday Night Magic here at GameSwap Mason, brought to you by Top Deck Productions. I'm Zachary Creamer and my very special guest this week is...
Brianna Fryman.
We've got 5 rounds of hot modern action for you tonight. Paul Koerbel is on Humans and Matt Minniear is on Infinite Jeskai. I have no idea what Matt's doing. Oh, the Saheeli deck? Okay, great. Well, that's excellent. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Matt's on a Saheeli Jeskai deck. Which... Right, okay. That's cool. Matt's deck has a lot going on, so we'll kind of just take it as it comes. Paul, on the other hand, is playing the top deck in the format. Humans. He's got a little human out. It's Noble Hierarch. And let's see the follow-up here. Meddling Mage. What is Paul going to name with Meddling Mage? Based off of the board state currently, he's got to put Matt on just like a regular Jeskai deck. So I would name Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile. What did Paul end up naming? Lightning Bolt. Which is a safe bet. Typically, the first Meddling Mage will blind name a removal spell that's most likely to be in the deck, and then you just kind of go from there. If he plays another Meddling Mage or a Phantasmal Image, he'll name Path to Exile.
Oh.
Yep. Once you have all the removal named, it's very hard for them to kill your guys.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
So they're playing Minniear. That's neat.
Yeah, Nahiri saw a lot of play when it first came out as a way for these Jeskai decks to filter their cards, to get rid of problematic permanents, and ultimately get Emrakul out.
Oh, yeah.
The ultimate on Nahiri lets you search your deck for any creature or artifact? Or is it just creature? Let's get Nahiri up. It's been a while. I think it's just creature, but the ultimate on Nahiri lets you go and get a creature from your deck and put it into play, and it has haste. When I saw Nahiri, I immediately knew that the obvious thing to do would be to go and get Emrakul, which is both powerful. Search your library for an artifact or creature card. Nailed it. I thought it went and got an artifact. Okay, so the obvious thing to do with Nahiri is to go get Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, and just kind of win on the spot. One attack with an Emrakul is usually enough to end the game because of its Annihilator trigger.
Oh, yes. Annihilator deals a lot damage to the board.
So not only is this a powerful effect, but not only is this a powerful effect and a win mechanically, it's also a win flavorfully, in the sense that in the story, Nahiri is the one that brought Emrakul to Innistrad. Nahiri is literally calling on the power of Emrakul. So what Matt's done here is he's blinked the Nahiri, essentially making it a new walker, and he gets to use it again this turn. We also see them doing this with Saheeli Rai, and that lets him make an infinite number of Felidar Guardians. But the value here on Nahiri getting to loot more than once on a turn is pretty powerful stuff. And we see that Matt could go off as early as tomorrow, and next turn with Saheeli Rai, which would allow him to make an infinite number of cats. But
yeah,
Paul's correctly taking Saheeli Rai here with his Kitesail Freebooter.
it's a good choice.
So that Matt can't do that. Matt has a Restoration Angel and a redundant copy of Nahiri.
And he has another Meddling Mage in hand. So he's going to go ahead and make it so he can't really get rid of the creature. That's neat.
So here's where we're at. The first meddling mage is naming Lightning Bolt, which is keeping Matt off of his removal. And now that Paul has seen Matt's hand, he can start naming cards in hand and just making them dead cards. Matt has to draw Path to Exile to get rid of the meddling mage, naming the Restoration Angel to even let him play that card. That's what's really great about the Humans deck, is the longer it gets going, the more pieces it's able to have on the battlefield, it can slowly lock its opponent out of the game by just making their cards invalid.
For fuck's sake, come on.
Okay, well, Matt found his Kiki-Jiki, which will let him copy the Felidar Guardian, and the Felidar Guardian will blink the Kiki-Jiki, and since Kiki-Jiki has haste, it will be able to activate again, and you rinse and repeat, making an infinite number of 1/4s. So there you go. Wasn't able to name them all Paul.
Darn.
So we're going to take this opportunity to let you know if you want to rewatch the match you're seeing now, or if you happen to miss this one, don't forget that we archive all of our replays on our YouTube page at youtube.com/TopDeckProductionsStream. If you're itching to follow us elsewhere on social media, give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/TopDeckProductions, and be sure to check out TopDeckProductions.com for player deck lists, league standings, and more. Speaking of league, Tuesday night is our Modern League night, where players can battle for cash prizes. Each week we keep track of the wins that the players in the league get. For each win, they get 3 points. And over the course of the month, one person is going to end up with the most points. And that person gets $100. Second place gets 50, and third and fourth each get 25. So if you live in the Greater Cincinnati area and you're looking to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to playing some Magic, specifically Modern, come on down. Participants must be a minimum $5 patron at patreon.com/TopDeckProductions, or you can go to the Top Deck Productions website and sign up there.
So just now, Matt took out all 4 Minniears, I believe. I didn't see what he put in. Why would he do that, Zach?
Nahiri's kind of slow.
Okay.
Yeah, Nahiri's kind of slow. I think Matt's just trying to go on a full... if he's going to win this game, it's going to be the full combo plan, not the value plan. He doesn't really need to outvalue Paul. At the same time, I don't really see this game necessarily ending with an Emrakul. I think Paul... I think Matt wants to get on the board as quickly as possible and just go for the, just go for like creating infinite creature combo. He also, Paul has will have a lot of permanence on the battlefield. It makes the Annihilator a little less good. I mean, still good, but yeah, I have to imagine that Matt is just trying to speed up his deck and just go for more of like a Splinter Twin finish, where he makes an infinite number of tokens. So Paul had the optimal start in the Aether Vial, but unfortunately didn't have a 2-mana play, which is a little surprising. Although now Paul gets to play a 3-drop and then play the Phantasmal Image, copying it. Unfortunately, he didn't have anything to bounce with the Reflector Mage. Well, Matt's on a 1-lander, so it doesn't really... so Paul kind of has all the time in the world, although he's not off to like a blistering fast start. This is what happens when you take out synergy. Typically what happens is game 1, both decks are just trying to execute their game plan as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. And then game 2, you take out a lot of that synergy and you bring in interaction. Games 2 and 3 are always slower. And that's what we're seeing here. Paul has a hand full of, his starting hand was full of interaction, and Matt wasn't giving him anything to interact with. And that's why we just saw Noble Hierarch sit on the battlefield by itself for a couple of turns. Matt's land also just makes colorless currently. He needs another land to filter it. So we're seeing a Kitesco freebooter taking Matt's only interaction.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Now, interestingly enough, like Matt can pitch those Simian Spirit Gods to activate the Rugged Prairie, but that doesn't really get him very far. That only gives him mana for 1 turn. And now we see the power again. We see the power of humans here. Paul is able to just keep adding to the battlefield, slowly locking Matt out of the game with his creatures that do more than one thing. This has proven to be the way to interact in Modern. You want to play a card that both interacts with your opponent and applies pressure. And the way to do that is by playing a creature that has an effect that limits what your opponent can do. Thalia, Meddling Mage, or a creature that has like a come into play ability like Militia Bugler, Kitesco Freebooter, and Reflector Mage. Militia Bugler was a really excellent pickup for the deck out of M19. The M stands for core. Militia Bugler lets you look at the top 4 cards of your library, and you get to reveal a creature with power 2 or less, and then put it into your hand. So this provides card advantage and card selection in the sense that you get to see more than one card. It's really great for finding your sideboard cards. So Matt wasn't really able to get anything going there. He got what we like to call in the business screwed, which is he only saw, specifically mana screwed. He only saw 2 lands. Everything in his hand cost more than that. Couldn't really get anything going. Happens to the best of us. Yeah. Yeah. His 6 was probably better than going to 5, although that's debatable. Paul's start was slow at first, and then just became insurmountable.
But that's what humans does. Humans populates the board.
Especially when you don't interact with them. Okay. So I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about Top Deck Productions' loyalty rewards. We have these points. We call them mana. And you can earn mana by watching the stream. For every 10 minutes you watch the stream, you get 5 mana. 10 mana for subscribers. That's a mana a minute.
Oh wow.
100 mana for every 100 bits that you cheer. 500 mana for subscribing, and 50 mana for following. Use the command symbol exclamation point to find our command list and to enter the giveaway. So what you do is you trade those mana, you trade the mana for tickets. You need 25 mana per ticket, and you can have a maximum of 10 tickets per person. Our current giveaway is Nature's Vengeance, the 2018 Commander deck. We'll be giving that away at 10 p.m. on Tuesday after the conclusion of our, or during the stream of our Modern League. Be sure to notify Top Deck Productions within 2 minutes to claim your prize before we choose another winner. Alright, we're into game 3. Paul has a Thalia. Thalia is a real powerhouse in this deck. It taxes everything, every non-creature spell that both players play, it's symmetrical, by 1, which can really set the opponent back. Even if they deal with it, say with a 1 mana removal spell, that removal spell now costs 2. Instead of being able to do something else on their turn, they now spend their whole turn just dealing with the Thalia. And that can really set you back, especially if you care about that kind of thing. Here we see Matt just running out of Pestermite to be mana efficient. And I can totally see this, I can actually see this Thalia just sitting here the entire time. I'm not really sure how Matt cares about that, especially if he keeps hitting his land drops. Matt only really needs to play one spell a turn. 2 more lands, he has an infinite combo. He has the Kiki-Jiki in hand. There's really not a lot that Paul can do about it unless he names Kiki-Jiki. Without Aether Vial, he can't flash in anything. He can't flash in Reflector Mage to bounce the Pester Mite either. So I can see this game ending as early as next turn if Matt hits another land. This attack is arbitrary, but it does let him untap the interesting play here out of Matt. So Matt used all 4 mana to cast a Felidar Guardian, which blinked the Pester Mite, which let him untap the Steam Vents. Not sure what he can do with one mana with a Thalia on the board, but I like the play out of Matt. He's making the most of his resources. So he received the Kitescale Freebooter, which unfortunately can't take the Kiki-Jiki. It can take the Saheeli Rai, which will stop Matt from winning next turn on that route. But if Matt draws a land, then he can just play the Kiki-Jiki and win.
Yeah, and he has been hitting his land drops every turn.
Let's see what we get here. We're going to pay 2 for an Aether Vial. So does Matt have another land?
Oh, the mage is on Kiki-Jiki.
Oh, the meddling mage was on Kiki-Jiki? Okay, that's great. Okay, so Paul's actually a lot further ahead than I thought he was. I didn't realize the meddling mage was on Kiki-Jiki, so that's good. Paul has taken away the Saheeli Rai, which is one way for him to make infinite tokens, and the meddling mage has taken away that other route. So Matt's just on the beatdown plan. Pester Mite getting in there.
I mean, if he's lucky, he'll be able to get rid of the meddling mage and just play Kiki-Jiki like normal.
That's where we're at. I haven't seen any removal out of Matt's deck at all, though. I've seen a lot of these, like, I've seen some of these decks, for example, the Saheeli, like the Cobra, like the Lotus Cobra deck that plays this, that plays the Saheeli combo. That deck doesn't play any removal at all. With this color combination, I would think Matt would have some Lightning Bolts or Path to Exiles, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have any removal at all. Just all in on the combo. Every removal spell you put into your deck convolutes your deck in the sense that it's not drawing a piece of the combo.
Yeah, it looks like he's only got Anger of the Gods in the sideboard.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably not gonna be able to remove that.
That makes sense. Like, he's really only concerned with go wide decks. Those are the kinds of, instead of killing one creature, he'll just kill all of them. One creature isn't going to kill him fast enough to end the game anyway. So.
And even better, Paul's got a second meddling mage, so if you wanted to be redundant, you could put another one on there later.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to double up on meddling mages just to be safe. In case the first one gets dealt with.
Yeah, I've had multiple humans players put meddling mage on Allus Dust multiple times. Up to 3, which was fun. So I can't Ulamog it away.
So I think we're going to see Matt flash in Restoration Angel.
Yeah, looks like.
Just to block this Thalia, which is currently a 4/3 with First Strike because of the 2 Exalted triggers. That's going to get another Hollowed Fountain. Or not. Sacred Foundry, okay. Yeah, he needs the Well, the Cascade Bluffs just lets him cast Kiki outright, but by filtering. But this is fine too. And Matt's kind of in a spot here. Can't play Kiki. If he draws another Saheeli Rai, though, he's good to go. Already has the Feldar Guardian. Nice. So with the Aether Vial trigger on the stack, the going up to 2 counters on the stack, Matt's going to flash in Restoration Angel and blink the Pestermite to tap down the Aether Vial. If he lets Paul tick up the Aether Vial to 2, he can flash in Meddling Mage.
Yes. There's the Mantis Rider.
Yeah, Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider is just a really clean and efficient creature. Haste, flying, vigilance. Mantis Rider is an updated version of an old card called Lightning Angel. Lightning Angel is a 3/4 that costs an additional 1 and has all the same abilities as Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider gets to cost 1 less, and all it costs is losing 1 point of toughness, which is largely irrelevant anyway. The primary difference being that Mantis Rider dies to Bolt, whereas Lightning Angel doesn't. But casting a whole 1 less is a big deal. And yeah, I remember people wanting Mantis Rider to be good in Modern for a long time, and then this Humans deck came along and is really able to use it to their advantage. It just happens to be a human.
Yep.
Look at him riding that Mantis. You get in there, Mantis Rider.
Flying and Vigilance are a good combo of keywords.
Oh yeah, and Haste. Loves me some Haste. This card has an immediate impact on the battlefield. We saw him swing for 5 because of the Noble Hierarch Exalted triggers. So unless Matt wants to lose his Restoration Angel, which he has to this turn or else he's dead. Paul can close this game right now. Well, he has 2 flyers, so never mind. Paul could close the game now if he had exactly Reflector Mage and Phantasmal Mage. He would play the Reflector Mage to bounce one of the flyers, and then Phantasmal Mage to copy it. But that's not what we have here. We have Matt blocking the Mantis Rider, and then Paul playing a Meddling Mage to name Anger of the Gods. So as far as I can tell, Matt pretty much just needs to draw Saheeli Rai here. If Matt can draw Saheeli Rai, he can copy the cat as many times as he wants. He has 2 more turns to draw it, in that he has a blocker, unless Paul draws Reflector Mage. All right, Saheeli Rai. Like a champ, Matt drew the 1 card off the top of his deck that would win him the game.
Another Mantis Rider was on the top of Paul's too.
So, yeah. We see a Saheeli Rai come down on this board, where Matt was pretty much locked out of everything else, but there we go. Saheeli Rai comes in and makes his old buddy Feldar Guardian an infinite number of times. So there you go. What are you going to do? Yep. Whirler Rogue would have been really good there. Make his 5/5 unblockable. That's what Paul's you live and you learn. So that'll do it for this game. Let's see if we can get our backup match, and if not, we'll take a break. Get our backup match over. They're in a game. Okay. Well, I'll use this opportunity to tell you about a couple of events that we have coming up. So tomorrow, we have our seasonal PPTQ. That's Preliminary Pro Tour Qualifier. And this season, we get to play everyone's favorite format, Modern. So tomorrow, starting at 1:30, we're going to have most likely 6 rounds of competitive REL Modern coming at you. So that's exciting. If you wanna play in it, be sure to be here by preferably 1, so we can get started on time. Fill out a deck list, and you're good to go. If you want to watch, stream will start at 1:30, and it'll be me and my good buddy Connor Sloan. So that's exciting. The next week, we have the Luke Browning charity event, where we're going to be playing Team Constructed, which means there will be a player on Standard, a player on Modern, and a player on Legacy. And that's all to help out our good buddy Luke Browning. So I think that's going to do it for this round. And we'll be back shortly for round 2. Thank you very much.